And we have arrived almost there to Ecuador. Bienvenidos a la República del Ecuador. Welcome to Ecuador. Bienvenidos. And we're walking in the town of, oh crap, I forgot the name of this town, Tulcan. And we stayed the night here at a hostel, which I will show you later. And right now, my travel partner and I are headed to find breakfast. And then shortly after, we will be visiting a beautiful garden/cemetery. One of my favorite places to be. A stark reminder that it all comes to an end at some point. Anywho, these streets are pretty cool. We're headed towards the park right now. Here's how inexpensive, not expensive it is to get breakfast in Ecuador. And they use the US dollar here as currency. Oops. So this is what a $3 breakfast looks like, our first breakfast in Ecuador. And I'm gonna start eating, I'm hungry. Sometimes, but only sometimes, you gotta improvise and throw some eggs in your toast, your ham sandwich. One really great thing about South America is all of these murals. They're everywhere. We're gonna enjoy walking across this park and heading to the cemetery. There's going to be a lot more to see at this cemetery as well. They have a green sculpture garden where the sculptures are made from trees. I'd say that's some pretty alright stuff. We have arrived here at the garden/cemetery. Let's see what this entrance is looking like. Ooh, trippy. All right, this is it. We're leaving now. We have over here one of the beautiful mausoleums. And I'm trying to be respectful. I'm not sure if I can go over there. You really could get lost in here. Some of these areas are very mild, but very, very maze-like. It's amazing. I like all these guys. He's whistling. This guy's also whistling. Such personality in some of these sculptures. A stark contrast to the end of life. These are cool. So far I must have seen about 20 different people working on the keeping these maintained. Oh wow.
En el mundo que puse.
Crypts, tombs, mausoleums, green sculptures, and beautifully decorated grave sites. There's tons of maintenance here. I'm trying to be respectful, not to film anybody that doesn't want to be filmed. What an honorable job to come here and sculpt these. There's life here. I don't know who this is. And I feel a little weird filming people's personal grave sites, so I'm not gonna do that too much. Oh, making sure my buddy's behind me. Wow. Sociedad Obrera 90. Oh my God, I forgot my numbers. Right now I'm thinking about my grandmother who passed away last year in April. And we used to live in Southern California near a place called the Crystal Cathedral. And I remember visiting their cemetery and asking my grandmother, like, hey, let's go walk through the cemetery. And I'm remembering that sense of awe, wonder, and impending doom, thinking about the corpses underneath the earth in my adolescent mind. And I think this is how goths are born, or something. You find out you like going to the cemetery, then you start wearing all black. This place is fairly large. I've already lost my buddy. And also, I feel a certain amount of love and respect for some of these unmarked. I don't know if anyone's buried here or not. Could be prime real estate for when you're deceased. Or it could be somebody who could only afford the spot and not the placard. find the statue to be very interesting, with her leading the way into this direction, but also stepping on the head of a snake. One foot on the head of the snake and another foot on the crescent. I can't tell what the crescent is. It's again a stark contrast. There's three different things going on here. You have the classical European sculptures and Catholic inspired art, let's call it, and the Mesoamerican sculptures, which may be hard to see this time of day on camera. It's a bit cloudy, so can't get any better lighting than this, unfortunately. I think I just realized that the statue over here is almost like an altar, with the sculptures facing inward as if they were people praying. And I find that very interesting. Looks like there's work to be done. The sculptures truly are everywhere. The green sculptures. As I was saying earlier, there's a stark difference between the life of these sculptures and the ever-growing nature, having no idea how old they actually are, especially these tall ones here. And the difference on the crypts and mausoleums, where you have the deceased. Life and death coexisting quite well with one another. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a wonderful view. Over there is the Andes Mountains. Really all around us. Oof. I am getting a bit emotional at the moment. Having recently lost my grandmother Ruth a few short weeks ago, my Aunt Stacy last September, and my Grandma Nancy in April of last year. Had to sit on a park bench and have a good purging of tears. I miss those ladies. Ah, place to hide. How interesting. I wonder how they keep these things watered. If the natural rain is enough, or if they have irrigation watering the roots. Going through very narrow passageways now. Well, our time here concludes very shortly because we need to catch a bus to the next town, like the drifters, the vagabonds that we are. Look how awesome these roots and branches are. Garden after garden. Back into the maze. Hence the way we came. Hence the way I am going. I'm running out of time, so we've only explored 3/4 of this place, I think. The last thing I want to check out is this building on the other side of this garden. And then we are jumping town. Remember, this man died for you. May you be absolved of all of your sins. Now that is interesting. I wonder if that's a really old part of the crypt down there. There's two doors. But unfortunately, it looks like this is a place where they throw all the flowers and pieces of wood to rot away. But this is definitely the most interesting part of being here, I think. I wonder what is down there. Okay, this one is for friends and family. I'm here at a famous cemetery that has green sculptures made from the trees in the form of indigenous drawings and sculptures. And here in the crypt, we have a pit where it seems they throw all the decaying things down. The most interesting thing is that there's two doors that are pretty much buried in wood and flowers. There's a door here, and there's a door there, down in this circular pit, quite literally of death. The pit of death. I know some of you are going to get quite a good reaction from watching this, particularly my family, who can be a little morbid at times. I have a tremendous amount of respect for the people sculpting these. They are the artists.